What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another one. And today it is cold. It just reached that time of the year in Ohio, late November. Happy Thanksgiving. That's probably when this video is coming out around. But we're going to look back through my year fishing out of this boat right here. And I did a review on this kayak as soon as I bought it. And now we're going to do another one after I have a year of fishing in this boat under my belt. Now, I do want to let you guys know before we dive into this review that this boat is for sale as you see it in this video. It's going to come with this Humminbird Helix 7 with the graph cover, these Boondocks landing gear, catch board if you want it, kayak cushion, and then the battery for the Helix is in here as well. So, message me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook at OKBassin. Let's make a deal. And now for the part you guys have all been waiting for, the review on the 2024 Slayer Propel Max 10. This boat has been great to me. There is not much I would change. The only reason I am selling it is because I'm going to go with the Titan X for next year so I can load it up with some more electronics. I'm a little bit bigger guy. I'm 6'1", 230, very, very stable. I can stand up. I can turn around while standing up, reach back there. I think it's a great overall boat because it handled some of the big water, Allen Creek, Mosquito. It got a little rough sometimes. Cut through the chop just fine. It also is good for creeks and rivers. OKF Stop 5, the Rivers tournament. This thing was fun to go down the river on because it is so small. You can easily move around. It's agile. It's quick turning. Overall, very, very happy with this boat. And now that we have the general overview of this boat out of the way, I'm going to go bow to stern and we're going to zoom in on some of the smaller things. I'm going to show you guys some of the things really like, some of the things that I think could use a little tweak, but there really isn't much I don't like about this boat. And another thing I want you guys to take into consideration when looking at, how this boat held up, how it looks today. I beat the crap out of this boat. I used the landing gear to put this thing in some sneaky launches. I think out of the 7 OKF events, I launched at a ramp twice. Everything else was beaches, trails, ditches, just sneaky stuff that could get you into some harder to get to places. And I think you guys are gonna be surprised on how well this boat held up. So starting with the bow here, one of the things I really, really like about this boat is that it got a little heavy when I threw a whole lot of my stuff on it, but these super heavy duty bike grip handles made it so easy to port this boat around. And there's one here, but there's 2 in the back, and these 2 in the back are a little torn up, but they still absolutely work. The only reason these are torn up is that when I would load this into the truck, I would run my ratchet strap through here and up the sides, and it would just pull at it. But they still absolutely work, still rock solid. Absolutely thrilled with those. I did run a keel guard both on the bow and stern this year, so the hull itself is in very good condition, but in case you guys are on the fence about running a keel guard, mine broke off the boat when I was loading up after the OKF championship. So I fished one tournament without it. This is 1 year of a Kydex keel guard wear and tear. So you can see that hole is where the majority of the weight in the kayak is. This Kydex keel guard, if you didn't have it on here, that hole would be in the bottom of your boat and you would be looking at getting this kayak replaced having to absolutely scrap this whole thing probably after next year. So if you're on the fence about getting a keel guard, make sure you do it. Up here, not much has changed. I really like the hull access that you get in the Slayer Max through that hatch right there. Not much going on here. The battery just sat there all year. I propped it up, charged it. But the propel drive itself held up very, very well. It's still very smooth, forward and backward. I took the prop through some rough stuff, and there's almost, I mean, you can tell it nicked some rocks a few times, but there's not much damage there really at all. Same goes for the bottom of the propel drive. You know, it's a little scratched up, but at the same time, almost good as new. Working our way back, we're gonna take a look. They got the Slayer Propel Max comes with these plates on each side here, which come off and are easily replaceable for exactly what you see here, which is running wires through for graphs, batteries, lights, any of that stuff. This I did myself in the spring with no idea what I was doing, and it is still held up perfectly. I wouldn't call it waterproof, but it's very, very watertight. It's very hard for water to get in there. The graph powers up, no problem. I like these, I don't even know what you'd call them. I guess slots for 3,600 boxes on the side. They fill up with water. If you have a lot of water in here, they come through the drainage. You get water in the bottom, but very functional. I kept trash in here most of the time, I won't lie. Just somewhere to put it out of the way. But I did keep a box in here sometimes. It's quick. It's nice to have that quick access and be able to strap it down. Now the seat. Put a lot of hours on this seat this year, and you know, it's pretty comfortable out of just the factory by itself. No cushion, no back, no backing, but I did throw the kayak cushion on there. I started with just the kayak cushion, had nothing on the back, and I found that I was just kind of like slumping into it, so I threw that arch support on there, and it was, I mean, this is like $10 on Amazon. It's super comfy. But the biggest thing, one of the main things that I love on this kayak is this junk drawer right here. You can fit two 3,600 boxes. I kept my plastics in here, right here, full of plastics, and then that usually left a good 3-4 inches on each side. This was just the junk drawer. I cut off a bait, I throw it in here. I also kept my phone right here for taking pictures, measuring, stuff like that. And then this was usually just lures that I was cutting off if I was changing colors of a chatterbait and I didn't want to put a wet bait back in the bag. I would throw it in there, and then you slide it right back in. It is a ton of storage, and I really, really like that feature on this boat. Moving back, we have, this isn't really necessarily part of the boat, but this is how I ran. My catch board was the 2 roto grips, and then you just keep it in there like that. That thing is rock solid. I went down the highway like that, no issues. But moving past that, coming over here to the steering, this is probably my biggest gripe about this boat, but it's really not even a gripe, so to speak. It's very smooth, moves very easily, but when you're on the water for a long period of time, this handle right here can be a little bit uncomfortable, kind of grabbing it like that. So the only thing I would do differently, I guess, so to speak, would be buy the ball mount that you can just kind of grab and is like a swivel. Let me see if I can find a golf ball. All right, I found a golf ball, but basically the little ball would sit there just like that, and then that gives you the ability, it's something to hold, to turn with, that is a little bit more comfortable than having to pivot it with your thumb and wrist. Don't get me wrong, this handle absolutely still performs and works perfectly as it comes from the factory, that's just a comfort thing that I'm thinking about changing for next year. That is what it is. All right, moving back, we have the tank well here, but I did skip something. I really like these tool holders here. There's one there, and then there's a cup holder and one over here. These were really useful. I kept my pliers in these and scissors, and then also a drink there, obviously. But that's just some of the smaller details I think it looked over a lot on this boat that I really do appreciate. Like I said, though, moving back, we got the tank well and then the back of the boat. This is your steering here. Right here is 2 taco clips for paddles to hang off the back of the boat. And then right here is something that I think is super sweet and I like a lot. This little dry pouch is still wet from when I cleaned it the other day. But in here, it's dry bag, like so. Kept the registration in here, and then I also throw my car keys in there whenever I get on the water, so I don't keep them in my pocket and lose those, because, you know, I don't want to be stranded with my keys at the bottom of the lake. Overall, as a whole for last year, I am super, super happy with how this boat performed. I am definitely not easy on any of my gear, so this thing held up to me. It can take a lot, so very happy with this boat. I think that it is a very, very great intermediate to advanced boat. You know, it's not necessarily that $6,000 Hobie. This thing retails for like $27,000, and then I threw some attachments on, or accessories on it. This thing was like fully rigged out, good to go at $4,000. So this is that perfect, you know, entry level, so to speak, if you would, into the higher end of competitive fishing. And I'm super, super stoked with this boat. And I think it's a great boat. And I would love to run it again, but at the same time, I want just a little bit more, which comes with that Titan 10.5X, which allows for more accessories, graphs, electronics, battery storage, stuff like that. All right, well, I hope you guys found this review helpful. It wasn't super, super in-depth because there's not really a whole lot to talk about because I took some of the stuff off this boat. But if you are interested in coming to visit this boat, if you guys want to purchase it, I'll make a deal with you because I need it gone. It would come as you see. You get the boat, propel drive, Helix 7 with side imaging, stuff like that, boondocks, catch, cushion, all that goodness. Just shoot me a message on Instagram, TikTok at Okibassin. But thank you guys for watching. I am super excited to bring you guys the build on the boat for next year. I think it's going to be super, super sweet when we get it done. And I think we might even get it wrapped. So big things to come. We got a lot to get done before we go to Texas in March. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.